Hello everyone, this is Zurimoni here. Welcome to my YouTube channel Pooja's Little World. Today I am going to give you the summary, message and question answers from the chapter My Childhood. My Childhood is an extract from APJ Abdul Kalam's Wings of Fire. This chapter speaks of the childhood and the society in which he was brought up. His inspiring parents, his secure childhood, supportive friends, and honest teachers all instill in him good qualities, in good values in him. That is how we see him in this chapter. His childhood memories and incident affected him in a very positive way. He was born in the middle class Muslim family in 1931 in the island town of Rameswaram in former Madras. And his father, Janaluddin, was a man of innate wisdom and true generosity of spirit, actually. Abdul inherited his honesty, self-discipline from his father, and for faith in goodness and deep kindness from his mother, Asiyamma. Their parents provided a secure childhood to Abdul and his three brothers and one sister. Kalam earned his first wages by selling tamarind seeds and working as a helping hand to his cousin Samsuddin, who distributed newspapers in Rameswaram. In his childhood, he has three close friends named Ramananda Sastri, Aurobindo, and Siva Prakashan. All three belongs to the Orthodox Hindu Brahmin families. And since his childhood, he faced religious disparities in schools and society also, because he belongs to the Muslim family. Though he belongs to a Muslim family, their family always participated in Hindu rituals as well. His mother and grandmother used to tell them stories from Ramayanas and the life of Muslim prophets. So, they believe in religious harmony, actually. Once a new teacher joined in their school who wanted, when Kalam was in the 5th standard, actually, he could not tolerate a Muslim boy sitting with a Hindu priest's son. So he sent Kalam to the next bench. When the priest learned about it, he immediately summoned to the teacher and warned him not to spread religious poison, communal poison on the society or religious inequalities in the society. The teacher regretted his behavior, and this incident helped him to reform himself, actually. And later, he was greatly influenced by his science teacher, Siva Subramaniam Iyer. He learned the lessons of breaking the barriers from the society, and Abdul wished to pursue higher studies after that, and his supportive father permitted him to go there, but his mother is little bit reluctant because she did not want to send her son or separate her son, or she not decided, actually, she is not wishing to send him away from her, actually. So later on his persuasion, when she used the famous Khalil Gibran's quote to tell her that children are the sons and daughters of the lives longing for itself. They come through them, but not from them, actually. She might give them love, but not her thoughts, because they had their own thoughts. So, in this way, through the help of the poem of Khalil Gibran, he persuaded his wife to give permission to him. And later, APJ Abdul Kalam went to Ramanathpuram, the district headquarters, for his higher studies. So, APJ Abdul Kalam's childhood incidents and memories, all we found in time that shares his personality and his mindset. And in the course of this chapter, in the course of his autobiography, we come to know that he always believed in religious harmony. In this autobiography, the writer gives us the information, the message that acceptance, tolerance, broad-mindedness, and brotherhood are very important in all-round development of a person or child. To reform a society from the caste system, one will be bold enough to face the challenges and oppose this kind of mindset actually. Only then we can have a harmonious world to live in. Let's see the question and answers. Answer this question in 1 or 2 sentences each. Where was Abdul Kalam's house? Abdul Kalam's house was located on the Amos Street in a small island town of Rameswaram in former Madras. What do you think Dinamani is the name of? Give a reason for your answer. Dinamani is a newspaper. Name of a newspaper, daily Tamil newspaper actually. Kalam said that he used to trace the Second World War's news in the headlines of the Dinamani. Actually, their area is isolated. So, war did not affect in their area. That is why to know about the World War, what was going on by that time, he used to check the headlines of the newspaper to know about the war and its position. Because from his brother-in-law, Jamaluddin, he learned a bit about the World War. Who were Abdul Kalam's school friends? What did they later become? Abdul Kalam's 3 close friends were Ramananda Sastry, Arabindan and Shiva Prakashan. When they grew up, Ramananda Sastry became the priest of Rameswaram temple and Arabindan started a business of transporting pilgrims to holy places and Shiva Prakashan became a catering contractor for Southern Railways. How did Abdul Kalam earn his first wages? Abdul Kalam earned his first wages by becoming a helping hand to his cousin Samsuddin. Who distributed newspaper in Rameswaram. Kalam used to catch the newspaper bundle from the moving train and distributed them. Because this time there was an emergency in the nation. So, the train between Rameswaram and Dhanuskudi is halt. And they have to collect the newspaper as they throw them, the bundle of the newspaper, they throw them from the moving train. And along with Samsuddin, Kalam has to catch all these papers from there. Had he earned any money before that? In what way? Yes, Abdul Kalam earned money before that also. In 1939, during the time of Second World War, he used to collect the tamarind seeds and sell them to a grocery shop on Moss Street. And a day's collection would fetch him the princely amount of 1 anna, means the 6 paisa at that time. Answer in short paragraph about 30 words. How does the author describe his father? So, how is his father? Kalam's father, Zainul was a very simple man. He had neither much money nor much education, actually, but he was a man of innate wisdom and generosity. He was a strict disciplinarian, strict person actually, who didn't believe in wasting money on luxuries, but provide them with all the necessities in terms of food, clothing, and medicine. And his mother, Kalam's mother's name was Asiyama. She was a noble and kind-hearted woman. She used to feed a large number of people every day and entertain her children with the stories of Ramayana and the life of the prophet at bedtime. He inherited faith in goodness and deep kindness from her himself. Kalam inherited honesty and self-discipline from his father. And from his mother, he inherited faith in goodness and deep kindness from his mother. He, along with his family, believed in religious harmony. His mother and grandmother used to tell them stories from Ramayana and from the life of the Muslim prophets. Dr. Kalam's secure childhood, inspiring parents, supportive friends, and honest teachers, they all instilled good values in him. Answer the questions answered is in 2 or 3 paragraphs each. On the whole, the small society of Rameswaram was very rigid in terms of the segregation of different social groups, says the author. Which social groups does he mention? Where does groups easily identifiable? For example, by the way they dress. So, the social group mentions by Kalam were the Hindus and Muslims there. And these groups were easily identifiable by the way they dressed actually. As Kalam was a Muslim boy, he wore a cap which distinguished him from his Hindu Brahmin friend who wore the sacred thread actually. Were they aware only of their differences or did they also naturally share friendship and experiences? Think of the bedtime stories in Kalam's house or who his friends were and of what used to take place in the pond near his house. So, they never concerned about those differences. Means the little children and the people of that area is never concerned about the differences of Muslim and Hindus actually. Kalam's mother and grandmother used to tell them the stories from the Ramayana and the life of the Muslim prophets. That means they believe in religious harmony. Though they are Muslim, but they participated in the Hindi rituals as well. Kalam's all friends belongs to the Orthodox Brahmin families. They didn't let the social barriers come between their friendship actually. They had a close and long lasting bond with each other. Their family participated in Hindu festival of Sri Sitaram Kalyan ceremony by arranging boats for transporting the idols from the temple to the marriage site, situated in the middle of the pond near Kalam's house. The author speaks both of people who were very aware of differences among them and those who tried to bridge these differences. Can you identify such people in the text? There are some people who are very aware of the differences between these two groups, Hindu and Muslims. For example, the newly appointed or joint teacher in Kalam's house could not tolerate Kalam sitting with a priest's son. Likewise, the wife of the science teacher refuses to serve the child who is a very conservative. She refuses to serve the child food as he was Muslim. But there are other kind of people also who try to bridge these differences. For example, the priest Lakshmana Sastri and their science teacher Siva Subramaniam Ayar, who always stood against social inequalities and communal intolerance. When Lakshmana Sastri came to know about the act of that newly joined teacher, he summoned him and warned him not to spread communal intolerance, not to spread communal inequalities to the innocent mind of that innocent children. After that, he changed the mind of the teacher actually. He forced to, and that teacher is bound to change his mind. He regretted his action and he refined himself. The science teacher was open-minded. He didn't believe all this, and he himself served to Dr. Kalam and also sat beside him, ate with him. And at the end, we see Subramaniam's Iyer was successful in changing his wife's mind. For a second time, when he called Kalam to dine with them to their house, she served food to him with her own hand. So, he teaches Kalam to fight with the barriers, to confront them with courage. And he also wanted Kalam to study in the higher level. For narrate to the incident that show how differences can be created and also how they can be resolved. How can people change their attitude? Two incidents that show how differences can be created are mentioned below. When Kalam was in the 5th grade, a new teacher came to their schools. The teacher was unhappy to see a Hindu priest's son is sitting with a Muslim boy. He immediately asked Kalam to sit in the last row. Both Kalam and his friend Ramandra Sastry were extremely unhappy with this. They felt sad for this. In the second incident, we have seen Kalam's science teacher, Sri Siva Subramaniam Iyer, who invited Kalam for a meal to his house. His wife, who was very conservative, got worried about the idea of Muslim boy eating in her pure Hindu kitchen. So she refused to serve him in her kitchen. 2. Why did Abdul Kalam want to leave Rameswaram? Abdul Kalam wanted to leave Rameswaram for having higher study at a district headquarters in Ramanathapuram. What did his father say to this? His father replied him that he knew that Kalam had to grow himself, and even a seagull also flies across the sun along and without a nest. So, he tried to mean that to grow in the life, he had to go outside of their place along, because all the time the parents could not support him. He has to fight or he has to struggle to establish himself. What do you think his words mean? Why do you think he spoke these words? By his words, he means that everyone has a right to live one's own life according to their will. And to get that aim, they have to struggle alone. He spoke these words because he knew about Kalam's skill and knowledge actually. And yes, it is a harsh reality that children have to leave their parents and find their own lives. Means in their struggle, they have to establish themselves, they have to fight themselves. Because their parents can support them outwardly, but inwardly, he has to face all these difficulties with courage and to struggle to establish himself. That is why his father spoke this, and he also believes that Kalams will be able to succeed in life, and that we see at last that APJ Abdul Kalam became the 11th president of India in 2002. The scientists, the statesmen became the proud of, for him we become proud, the proud person of India, who believes in religious harmony, who is not only a scientist but a great politician. Hope you have understood the summary and message of this chapter, what the writer tries to intimate us. If you like my video, do like, share and subscribe. And one more thing I would like to share, if you want a PDF of this chapter, to click on the link below. Thank you.